Good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you are all having a fabulous Friday afternoon. Welcome to Tembe Elephant Park here over in South Africa, Maputo land. My name is Kerry Dupree and I will be your naturalist presenter for the afternoon. I'm really looking forward to seeing what exciting wildlife is going to take us into the weekend. We have some elephant bulls standing here in the shade. We also had some bulls here yesterday. Same place, just relaxing, catching a bit of a break, enjoying some minerals, a bit of a sand bath, coming down for a drink as well. So lovely to see these elephant bulls so relaxed here, also enjoying their Friday afternoon. So just a reminder, folks, that this is a live and interactive show. So please keep me company, send through your questions and comments. Don't forget to register on our website, or you can go ahead and join in the conversation on YouTube or Twitter/X. If you would like to join in, don't forget to use the hashtag @WildEarth, or you can use the QR code on the screen right now. What a lovely afternoon. Tembe is looking rather green, I must say, nice and lush and green. Probably one of our most green looking locations at the moment. Shame some of our other locations are looking a little bit drab, seeing as we are in the dry season. And as you can see, the August winds are definitely hitting Tembe. We have this beautiful big elephant bull. It looks like he's just enjoyed a nice mud bath, and some impala and a female nyala have just come down to the watering hole for a drink. Mercedes Ben and Catherine, thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for taking on some of your time. Joanne Miller, so good to have some of the kind of same viewers joining us every day or every other day. Looking forward to you guys being on the show with us today. Oh, this elephant has got a scratch. Needs to have a bit of an itchy leg. So thank you for joining us. If we have any new viewers today, please send through your comments, questions, or even just send a holla, say hi. I'd love to see if we've got any new viewers with us today. Yeah, we had a pretty entertaining day yesterday. Lots of elephants. Great to see 1 ton finally. Posted on my Instagram story. I was super excited yesterday to finally see 1 ton over in Kenya in Oldonyo. We had an amazing display of massive elephant bulls yesterday in Oldonyo. Maybe, if we're lucky, 1 ton will come back and join us today again. Penelope, I believe it's a lovely warm summer day in the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal. I wonder if you have experienced some wind down there in KZN. It's Johannesburg. We started off our week earlier this week in Johannesburg, South Africa. A little bit windy Monday, Tuesday. The wind has kind of died down here a little bit. Yeah, it's nice and sunny now. I mean, I'm still wearing jeans and a little bit of a jersey, so it's still a little bit chilly outside. There's still a bit of that winter chill in the air, but I'm sure in the next few weeks we'll all be in our summer wear, swimming outdoors, enjoying the summer weather. Oh, this elephant bull looks like he's had himself a lovely mud bath. He is covered in mud, think there's also a bit of a sodak area or a little mineral spot here. If you see where this elephant is probably going to be putting his trunk in there, it seems to be quite a popular spot for a lot of the elephants to come and feed. Dust bath. Nice to see some impala on screen today. And this pan that's just behind the elephant here is a perfect spot for a lot of water birds. So we're going to keep a list. I'm going to do a birding list for the day. I know Catherine is a huge birder. If we have any other birders out there, please feel free to, send a holler. Let us know birds you'd like to see today. So I'm trying to get more birds than we got yesterday. I think the most birds I've got on one of the live at the waterholes was 25 bird species in a day. But to be fair, that did end up being quite a all about birds day. So today, let's see if we can get more than 17. My number for yesterday was 17. 17 birds on sound and sight. So if anyone picks up on any birds that I might have missed, please feel free to send through the names of some extra birds that I can add to our list for the day. Another big tusker just there coming to join in on the fun. Maybe if we're lucky, I know the weather kind of all depends on the weather, but maybe we'll be lucky to have a pool party at one of our locations. I know Ukukuyu is a good spot for an elephant pool party to take place, and maybe as the temperatures are rising, we might be lucky to find an elephant pool party today. Lots of elephant bulls congregating and gathering here. Nice to see all these bulls. Obviously, as the temperatures kind of rise and fall, a lot of these elephant bulls will come down for a drink, but also hang around, stand in the shade. And they seem to really enjoy having a bit of a sand bath on the other side of the pan here. Check these two boys on the left. They've got rather impressive tusks. I did really enjoy yesterday. 1 ton was having a bit of a bromancing moment with another elephant bull that was there. And there was another elephant bull with only 1 tusk. His tusk that he did have was pretty long, but he only had 1 tusk. And 1 ton was having a really, really sweet bonding moment, just like these 2 bulls are right next to us. On the left-hand side, nice scratch. Give yourself an ear scratch. Oh, look at these 2 boys. Aren't they impressive? So Penelope, good observation there. Could definitely be where the inflow pipe is coming into the pan. Might be why the elephants are congregating around that one spot. So you'll find a lot of pans at watering holes in southern Africa. A lot of the elephants, obviously, they much prefer clean water than the muddy, dirty, murky water that then fills up in the pan. So they'll generally like to congregate around the pipes or the outlet where the water comes out. In some cases, they do even end up breaking these pipes. Elephants are quite strong and can be semi-destructive at times. But also around this pan, I know that there's must be a lot of salts and minerals in the soil around this pan here in Tembe Elephant Park. And that's where a lot of these elephants are getting their minerals from. And that's can be a good contributing factor to why the elephants here at Tembe have such long, strong tusks. So Lenny is asking about the difference between a male and female Egyptian goose. So I'm just going to pull up my bird up here. I know that obviously the size difference is a bit difficult because for me the size of the Egyptian geese are pretty much the same. It's not a very good indicator on size to tell the difference between male and female, but I do know that it has something to do with the spots in the belly. I know one of them has larger blotches or patches on the front on their belly there and on their chest, and the other doesn't have as big spots on their bellies. We had a lot of Egyptian geese activity yesterday at Tao Lodge. Most of the locations, Egyptian geese tend to find themselves there. Oh, these two boys are having the best time. So another difference to tell between male and female Egyptian geese. Again, the size for me is not a very good comparative feature because sometimes you could have two males together. But another difference is the call. So the male's call is a little bit different to the female's call. So the male has more of a horsey, hissing, and blowing sound, whereas the female makes a bit of a harsher honking noise. So generally, the sound you'll hear when they duet call, the beginning sound will generally be the male, and then the female follows up with a bit of a encore call at the end. They are rather interesting looking birds, Egyptian geese. Love how they're all different kinds of colors, their pink legs, orange eyes of theirs with a bit of a ring around, a bit of white, some iridescence. We do often see Egyptian geese at this location as well. Oh, check out these big boys. Imagine the stories they could tell. So these look like quite mature elephant bulls. Looks like they have definitely been around some time. I'd put the ages, I mean, it is quite difficult to age elephants, but I would put the ages at anything between about 45 to 48 years old. I know one ton is sitting at 50. Apparently, one ton is probably around 50 to 52 years of age. And I think the average lifespan of an elephant bull, one of the oldest specimens recorded, was obviously in a sanctuary or a zoo. And I think they recorded this elephant to have died at 62 years old. So generally, in captivity, they could survive to late 50s to 60. In the wild, generally their lifespan is between 50 to 55 years of age. All right, well, let's see what activity we have in Nguma over in Namibia. I think we've got some activity happening there. I'll have a look here. So we've got this pan here in Nguma National Park in Namibia. I believe it's about 160 to 170 kilometers from Etosha or Kukuyu, where our other camera is based. And this is on a private reserve. Oh, we've got some more dogs over there. Looks like They just came from a bit of a mud wallow. Shane's poor acacia tree probably fell over from an elephant, pushing it over to get some of the leaves. And there's our little warthogs. We got to watch some warthogs early in the week having a nice mud bath over in Safari Lodge camera in Victoria Falls. Warthogs can give us many hours of entertainment. Uh-oh. What's happening here? So they've had a nice mud bath. Now they're heading over to this little sandy patch to get some spa treatment, a bit of exfoliation there. So it's quite common for these warthogs to kind of, after having a nice mud bath, go and roll around in a sandy patch. Oh, there's a little gas full of beans today. Must know it's Friday. He's looking forward to the weekend, obviously. Looks like a little young male. So Lauren, thank you for your question about warthogs, and if warthogs have a leader of their little group, or also known as a squeal of warthogs, generally you'll find them in small groups. So mostly you'll find males on their own, just like the bachelor buffalo bulls. You'll find male big warthogs on their own. They have to fend for themselves, and females with little piglets. So these are obviously youngsters. They look like they're a bit older than a year, so they could be 2 years old, these youngsters. And generally they'll follow the mother. So it's quite cool. A lot of people always very fond of seeing warthogs running away with their tails up in the air. I know it is kind of, a lot of people think it is a follow me sign so that they can see each other while running through the African bush in the thick grass. They can see the little tails sticking up in the air. Yes, could be a follow me sign, which is quite cute to see these warthogs following their mother as they run through the bush. So these two on the right are most likely the youngsters, probably 2 years old now, and the mother is most likely on the left. You can see these warthogs feeding on vegetation there, down on their haunches. It must be quite a hot day. I mean, warthogs are pretty much common in most regions of northern and southern Africa. They can occur in a lot of different habitats. You can see these females generally don't have as big tusks as the males do. To differentiate between male and female, males have two sets of warts. So you can see this is going to be a young male on the right-hand side here. So one set of warts just below the eye, and then another set closer down to the snout and muzzle. So as you can see, warthogs do favor kind of short mats of grass, and this is to help them actually feed and be able to dig up shoots and roots and bulbs. A lot of the roots of the grass that they like to feed on is panikin or your brachychaea species of grass, but mostly the shorter panicum grass will suffice, and what they're looking for It's obviously the leaf bases or any of the rhizomes. Dig that up, and they love feeding on these particular parts of the grass. So warthogs are semi-water dependent, although they can go kind of a couple of hours without drinking, but generally warthogs will like to hang around water sources in order to be able to access water at least a few times a day. And the male warthogs, you'll often find them spending hours and hours at a time just hanging around in the mud, enjoying a nice mud bath. So the lifespan of these warthogs, you're looking at about anything between 16 to 18 years of age. And this male at the back here, he's probably going to be ousted by his mother anytime soon, as he looks like he's becoming quite mature enough to be on his own. And that's when he needs to watch out, because warthogs are favorite food of leopard. Oh, a leopard loves to snack on a warthog. Oh, gotcha. Is that a kudu or a bushbuck? Oh, nice juvenile kudu coming down for a drink. Still a bit of a youngster. Must be a hot day over in Namibia. So he's a little bit wary what might be around. So generally you can see on this kudu those stripes on its body, and these are to help blend in and camouflage these kudu. So if you've ever seen a kudu, and kind of like they always need to be in semi-thick areas, and those stripes help them to blend in very well. So generally anything from about 11 to 15 vertical white stripes down their back, and it's incredible how these stripes help them blend in. They literally stand there, and if they're in a thick area, the thin lines actually look like very small trees. So it helps to break up their body shape a little bit. So obviously we do have two different subspecies of kudu in Africa, the lesser kudu and the greater kudu. They are slightly distinguished between or separated by habitat, areas that they like to reside. Kudu are mostly browsers and browse on foliage and kind of herbaceous plants. They do even feed on pods, seeds, even flowers. I know kudu love to feed on those bright purple morning glory flowers, or even the African toothbrush tree, which I'm sure some of you might know, euphorbias, very favorite food of kudu, or the knobthorn flowers. I've seen kudus feeding on those flowers of the knobthorn. So Mindy, thank you for your question about the warthogs. Mindy is asking about how the warthogs get the mud. of their body. So thanks for your question, Mindy. So how do warthogs get the mud off of their bodies? So as we could see just now, they were rolling around in an old little pan or watering spot with a bit of sand to kind of exfoliate their skin a bit, have a bit of a spa treatment. Or rubbing posts are a very popular spot for not just warthogs, but warthogs, buffalo, and especially elephants to go and rub off that mud after visiting a watering hole. And this serves quite a few purposes, having mud baths. It's not just for the fun of it, although it is quite entertaining to watch animals have mud baths. But so the mud not just cools down the animal's skin, but also acts as a sun protection layer for their skin, and of course also helps with parasites. So when animals cover themselves in mud and they go and rub off on a rubbing post or a stump, they then remove ticks and parasites from their skin. And looks like we have first bird of the day. There's a grey heron over there. And we have some blacksmith plovers just in front of our kudu here. All right, why don't we head over to Aldonio, folks, and see what's waiting for us there. Welcome to Aldonio, everyone. We have some giraffe and some zebra and soon to be an eland coming down to join us for a drink. So Spicy Ian Cobb, thank you for joining as well. If you missed my little section on warthogs and the differences between males and females, obviously with male warthogs, you will sometimes see them on their own, as they are generally males. Big male warthogs will be solitary, but one of the biggest distinguishing features is obviously male warthogs will have longer tusks, longer and thicker tusks, and also the warts. Body size is obviously bigger in males, and the warts on their faces. So male warthogs will have two sets of warts, one just below the eye and another set of warts just above the muzzle. So they've got actually four warts on their face, these big protruding warts on their faces, and the females only have one set, being two. So yeah, good way to tell the difference. But sometimes the tusks can be quite a good giveaway themselves. And Glenn Nick, thank you for joining us today. I believe you are quite a regular follower of all of our Wild Earth shows. So thank you for joining us. It's great to have you with us live at the waterhole today. Please feel free to send through any questions or comments, or thank you for joining us. Looks like we've got some more zebra coming down to the watering hole. Lots of giraffe today. No elephants so far. So this was yesterday. We had all these massive elephant, super tusker elephants that were here. It was quite a sight to see, I must say. And these giraffe look like they are rather intrigued by something. It's a shame nothing else got much of a chance to drink yesterday because of the elephants taking up all the space at the watering hole. Obviously, in a lot of places in Africa, as these watering holes dwindle and become smaller and smaller, it does mean there's a bit more competition for water. So to add to our birding list for the day, we have some red-billed oxpeckers on the giraffe there. They seem quite abundant in this location. Shame the poor giraffe struggle to drink at times. We also had some wattled starlings that have been coming down to drink. There we go. Yesterday was quite busy with the starlings, I must say. Shucks, there was wattled starlings all over the place yesterday, which did make for quite a dramatic scene with all the elephants. Check at them. They're all congregating in huge big flocks at the moment, these wattled starlings. So folks, why don't we have a quiet moment just to enjoy the sound of these starlings all flocking in, and if we're lucky, maybe we get some zebra vocalization. So lovely to be able to watch all this wildlife, all this happenings, comings and goings at the watering hole. What? I don't think there's a better way to spend with pride. Fabulous Friday. Hope everyone is looking forward to the weekend, I must say. I surely am looking forward to this coming weekend. The sun is finally out and we can all get out of our little caves and go and explore. A little impala, young impala, visit here. So it could be a yearling, so he's probably from last year, January or December. Our zebra have slightly moved off, and so have the giraffe. But as you can see, the giraffe are feeding in the bushes just behind. The acacias getting a bit much. So I don't know if you could hear, so obviously there's a lot of sounds happening. Sometimes it's nice to just quietly listen to see all the sounds, birds. You can hear the wattle starlings all coming in. I also heard some insects like a grasshopper kind of taking off just in front of the screen there. A lot of butterflies coming down, and yeah, I just wanted to have a moment of appreciation for all the insects in the world out there. Now, it's not something that everybody thinks much about, but insects play quite an essential role in the environment, and they contribute to the ecosystem in more ways than we can even imagine. And of course, everything big and small is always very important in the circle of life. I mean, insects are pollinators, decomposers, they help with soil aeration, pest control, um, seed dispersers, they contribute to the nutrient cycle, and all in all, helping to maintain a healthy and happy ecosystem. So, next time you think of killing a little insect because it's kind of in your house or taking up space where it shouldn't be, maybe just rather catch and relocate it outside. That's not always the first thing we think of, but insects are a very important role in our ecosystem, even the ones that don't look so pretty. Unlike this very handsome male giraffe here. Seems to be something behind the camera, maybe something in the distance there. Giraffe has been quite leery today. Nice to see some impalas also coming down for a bit of a drink. You can hear wasps. There must be a bit of a hover wasp somewhere close by. We are doing a birding list today. I'm trying to see if we can get more birds than we did yesterday. I only had 17 birds for my list yesterday, but I did just see a spotted wood dove, so probably a blue spotted wood dove. Came down for a drink earlier. We even had namakwa doves here yesterday, which was pretty exciting to see some namakwa doves. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll have the pair of secretary birds coming down for a bit of a drink. Listen to those oxpeckers having a bit of a squabble. Definitely is something very calming about sitting and watching wildlife. It has a sense of zen and quietness to it. Oh, some zebra calling in the background. So generally an alarm or distress call. Shame when a female zebra has lost her youngster, or sometimes what happens is the baby zebra foals can get killed by other males or other individuals, and sometimes the female can spend 12 to 24 hours, sometimes even 2 days, vocalizing, trying to call their little one. There we go. And the zebra alarm call. I was chatting about zebra today and how zebra can be quite aggressive at watering holes, especially when watering holes are drying up like this. Even feeding areas, if there's limited space in the feeding area, zebra can be quite aggressive, and they are sharp on both ends, so they can give quite a nasty bite as well as a very nasty kick. Oh, this giraffe is doing his downward dog while trying to have a drink. So I did see earlier there was a superb starling that also flew in here. Nice to see the bright fluorescent birds out in the wilderness. So just a bit of an update from our locations. Actually, I'm going to put a question out there. If anyone who's been watching the sunrise and sunset safaris wants to tell me about one of your favorite sightings from the last 24 hours of safaris here at Wild Earth, I won't give away too much. All I know is there's been lots of activity, lots happening. So please share with me some of your favorite moments and memories. There have been some really special sightings from yesterday's safaris and even from today's sunrise safaris. So I'd love to know what your favorite moments are. I'm not going to give away too much, but please send in your comment of your favorite moments from the last few 24 hours of safaris. There's a few that have caught my heart, I must say. There's been some really special sightings the last 2 days. These giraffe, it is so nice to see them getting a chance to drink, because they did not get much time to drink yesterday while at the watering hole. Shame, the elephants kept chasing them away. So Glennick, thank you for joining us again today and sending through your comments. So yes, giraffe do this downward dog kind of leg splaying while having a bit of a drink. And yeah, this is mostly if they want to drink something or occasionally pick something up from the ground. So for example, giraffe do practice what's called osteophagia. So because of all the calcium needed in giraffe's bones, giraffe will actually sometimes chew on bones. So that behavior is known as osteophagia, osteo referring to the bones. And that's when they will also bend down like this in order to pick up bones. Otherwise, when giraffes sleep, they don't go into this position. They literally just kind of start bending, drop straight down to their knees, and kind of lie down as if, like similar to how a horse would lie down with their head up. It's very, very rare to see a giraffe completely lying down on the ground. If you do, it's either could be a sick individual, or sometimes when males are fighting, they can fight to the dead. And if you want an upper hand while fighting as a giraffe, your main goal will be to try and get your opponent to the ground. If you can do that, then yeah, the chances, sometimes they don't even get up after these fights. So I've seen a few documentaries in Tanzania and Kenya where giraffe have literally fought to the dead by necking and trying to hook the leg. And yeah, sometimes they end up so injured and wounded and battered they cannot actually get up after that. So yeah, but obviously anytime a giraffe is either in a drinking position or down on the ground sleeping, it does mean they are quite compromised. So they will generally sleep together with other individuals, always with a few standing, keeping a lookout. And yeah, they just kind of take a bit of a short power nap, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes maximum, while their heads are still up, and then they're up and about and feeding again. Yeah, baby giraffe are a very good prey for lions, and of course any giraffe that's lying down is Nice to have some elephants joining us finally here. And of course, the usual behavior of this elephant, chasing away the poor giraffe. So folks, I'm waiting to hear from any of our viewers what your favorite moments from the last few safaris have been. The sunset or sunrise safari from yesterday or today. So Lenny, thank you so much for your comment about the lion sightings on Juma. So yes, I did see some pictures of that lion that has, yeah, looks like he's got a bit of an injured eye. So poor male lion, they can get their eyes injured in many different ways, but shame, yeah, that eye of his is looking rather nasty. So thanks so much for the update on that and all the information. I'll definitely be saving that. And yeah, it sounds like there was lots of lion activity on the sunrise safari today. 2 males, and yeah, shame, not a very good advantage if you are male lion, and if you have any form of injury, this is not always the best thing. But if you're in a coalition, then it means in case you have another individual to protect you. So it's, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's one of the Nkahuma males and the Kalamati males, which have been seen together for the last few weeks. So thanks, Lenny, for the update on that. Beautiful. Thank you, Tosca. Yeah. So, Catherine, thank you again for your comment. Yes, there's been a lot of leopard activity on Zuma, I must say. It's quite overwhelming to see how many leopards there have been, a lot of comings and goings. I know that Lalamba's little cub has been spotted and seen quite a bit. I think yesterday she managed to kill a little duiker, and they had a nice little feast. But yeah, very adorable pictures coming out of Lalamba's little cub there. Very, very adorable. Yeah, I must say, I can't wait to see what kind of a leopard this little cub is going to grow into. Very, very cute. There was a lot of activity yesterday, also with the buffalo that was also taken down by the lions. And yeah, a lot of jackal activity, a lot of hyenas lurking about, looking for some food. Looks like Mohawk and some of the Nkahuma males kind of came around to clean up on all the dead scraps from the buffalo. Look at these boys having a drink. I actually have seen a black-backed jackal at this exact watering hole during the day. That was pretty cool. Got some cool pictures of the giraffe in the background with this little um, jackal in the foreground. Really cool to see jackal during daylight. I'm mostly used to seeing jackals at night. Now, we've also had quite a lot of sightings on Juma of Ribbon and her little cubs. So really awesome to see those little black cubs of hers at the den site. Looks like they have had a lot of bonding time with their mom, and I'm sure Ribbon would have been feeding off of any leftover scraps from the dead buffalo. Over at Amakala, they had a really awesome sighting of a young male lion, which is pretty cool, with Eric and Morgan. And the sunrise in Amakala this morning also looked absolutely fabulous. A great sunrise, Amakala. So Gloria, the cat lady, thanks for your question about if elephants always have priority at watering holes. So yeah, it kind of depends from individual to individual. Just like zebra, I was talking about zebra can be quite aggressive at watering holes and don't like to share. So yeah, so you kind of have some individuals, elephants, that don't like sharing their water with other mammal species and chase all the animals away. But I've had some bulls here, which there'll be one or two, three bulls drinking, and they'll allow other species to come by and also drink. So it kind of depends on the individuals, but they are known for being kind of bullies at watering holes. And obviously, with their massive size, if you have, like yesterday, we had 5 big elephant bulls here at this watering hole, and that didn't leave much space for other animals to come in and drink. So if you have, for example, an elephant pool party of 50 to 70 elephants, it can be quite difficult for other mammals to come in and drink. So yeah, they would have to kind of wait on the side and hope to get a chance to drink at some stage. So brazen hearted, thank you for sending through your comments. Yes, I must say, I went on a leave for a short period, and before I went, on my last guiding stint, Tlalamba's cubs hadn't been seen for a while, and I was quite concerned. So I was really, really excited to get back to my last trip and find out that one of the cubs has been found. And yeah, there's been a lot of pictures going around of this adorable little cub playing with Lalamba, coming out to check out the vehicle. So yeah, we all have our fingers crossed that Lalamba's little cub is going to survive and be a very big leopard one day. Also give us some amazing sightings. So we'll see what's going to happen with this poor zebra coming to drink. So one of these elephant bulls was already quite feisty with the other zebra that were here. So it'll be interesting to see if these bulls let the zebra come for a drink. I guess if you are one of the world's largest land mammals, that does give you preference and priority at watering holes. Looks like the zebra are going to be lucky and be let in to come for a drink. So big elephant bulls like this, we were talking quite a lot the last couple of days about elephant bulls coming into must. Generally, the elephant bulls will start coming into musk between 20 to 30 years of age, and that is when they have very elevated levels of testosterone. And yeah, you can tell by the fluid leaking from their temporal glands, as well as a liquid being secreted from their penile sheath, which can discolor their back legs and release a very putrid smell, which generally, if you're lucky enough, you can smell before you bump into the elephant, because this elevated levels of testosterone can sometimes compromise their behavior, especially in younger bulls that don't quite know how to deal with this testosterone. I find the older bulls that have been going through must for a very long period are a lot more acclimatized to all of these emotions and kind of elevated testosterone levels. These younger bulls sometimes can be a little bit aggressive. For spicy improv, yes, I did have quite a few good sightings of blackback jackals on the live at the waterhole camera. So it's nice to see that they're very common during the day. So thanks for confirming that for me. Striped hyena, unfortunately, I have not seen striped hyena yet. I've seen on camera traps quite a lot of striped hyena. But it's interesting to hear that they do get sightings apparently of striped hyena at this location in Elgonyo, Kenya. I did spend some time on a trip recently in Namibia, and I was praying to get striped hyena, but was unsuccessful. I did follow a striped hyena family for almost 2 years in the Drakensberg, but this was all on camera traps, so I didn't actually ever see them. But it was very interesting to follow them and kind of see how often they eat. They are scavengers, but they will hunt too. So striped hyena, definitely a very cool species to tick off of your list. So thank you very much for your joke you sent through, Mr. Aristotle Slicer. Um, yeah, about giraffe possibly being your favorite animal on the wild earth, but unfortunately you'd be lion. So yeah, lions. There's been lots of lion activity recently on Juma. There was a buffalo killed a few days ago that everyone's coming out of the woodworks to feed on. So yeah, it provides a lot of food for a lot of animals. So thanks for your comment there. Yeah, I must say the leopards, I did fall in love with the leopards at Juma. So yeah, but I mean the hyena clans there are also very entertaining and always around. So yeah, just like watching the zebra, never a dull moment. So, got a question from Computer Enthusiast about what region of Africa has the biggest animals. So, obviously, seeing as elephants are the largest land mammals, I would have to go with probably the regions where you get all the super tuskers, which, as we were talking about yesterday, obviously is in Kenya, Tanzania, and over in South Africa, where there's, I think, between 50 to 20 tuskers, super tuskers left. Of course, there's still at least another 10 big tuskers still kind of between Kruger National Park and some even in Tembe Elephant Park, but I don't know if they're officially classified as super tuskers. So yeah, that would probably be my guess of where the biggest mammals are. But we also had some question about the largest population of antelope, which again would probably have to be part of the migration. So again, between Kenya and Tanzania, where you get the migrations, which should be all kind of congregating at this time to start building up for the migration. So the Nutty Professor, thank you for sending me through a good brain teaser question here. So the Nutty Professor is asking, what bearing has the greatest bearing on elephant tusks length? Is it genetics or diet? Thank you so much, Nutty Professor. And yes, I will be on the live drive soon from next week. I think it's on the 22nd. I will be at Mabula on the live drive. So look forward to you sending me through some more interesting questions, Nutty Professor. So yeah, elephant tusks would be mostly tusk length and shape is all pretty much genetic uh, based. That's why nowadays we're not getting so many big tuskers anymore, because we don't have the genetics. A lot of the big tuskers have either died or been killed. So that's why the genetics for these tuskers are no longer around anymore. So we're just having a quick scan to see if we have any birds at this location before we move on to another. But yeah, so thanks very much for that, Nutty Professor. So I would say genetics does play a very important role in elephants having big tusks, but also minerals. I'd say minerals, their diet, and type of vegetation they have to feed on, because you can have an elephant with genetics to have big tusks, but for example, if they were dumped in Namibia after a few years of being kind of deprived of enough nutrients and minerals, those tusks would very quickly become brittle, and with the heat and dry soil, it would become very brittle and they would break the tusks. So we have some birds sitting up in the tree here. I'm going to guess this looks like a dove on the right-hand side. Could either be a ringneck dove, or I'm going to go with possibly a laughing dove. And it looks like we have could be a white-browed sparrow weaver on the left. So we can add two more birds to our list here. So we've got laughing dove, which is quite cool. See the laughing dove's little almost pinkish breast with little spots, and a white-browed sparrow weaver. Oh, look at these elephants. They're having the best time. Now, rather interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing those big tuskers yesterday. I know, harping on a bit, but it was really amazing to see those big tuskers and to see one ton bonding with the other elephants, just having a bit of a bro moment was super special. And check this elephant, it's giving his foot a bit of a scratch. So isn't it absolutely incredible that an elephant's trunk can have anything between 20 to 40,000 muscles, whereas the human body only has about 600 muscles? How crazy is that if you think about it? And those giant ears of theirs also very much important in cooling these elephants down. So they flap their ears, and that all those little nerves and veins and blood vessels going through the ears there. It's very soft and sensitive behind an elephant's ear, actually. I've never felt there before. The skin is very soft, and by flapping their ears, not only do they help with a bit of wind and air movement, but it also helps to cool down the blood within the ears and circulate it around the body. So Patis Nagani, thank you for your comment. So wow, interesting story about this elephant on the left, which apparently attacked a giraffe. Um, and yes, well done for taking a screenshot of its ear. Again, the ears of an elephant are a very good way to differentiate and identify different individuals. Just like humans, we all have our own unique kind of characters. We all look different, different height, different kind of body weights. Now we all look different. With elephants, it can be a little bit difficult to identify. So you can use obviously their tusks, the tusk shape, how their tusks are formed, the different lengths of their tusks, the angles, and the ears are a very good indicator to look at different unique markings. Sometimes they even have holes, tears. Occasionally you do get some individuals with even broken cartilage on their ears, which is a very good giveaway. Awesome. Why don't we head across to Tau and see what's happening back in South Africa and see if we can get some more birds on our list. Welcome, welcome to Tau Lodge, everybody. Back in South Africa. We have a grey heron here. So I think our heron we saw earlier in Namibia, Nguma, was a black-headed heron. And here we have a grey heron. He's a beautiful boy. And I think he had his breeding plumage a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to impress some females. You can see some of his breeding plumage feathers on his belly there, kind of wispy in the wind, still around. So a lot of the egrets will not change too much in color for the breeding season, but they might kind of have a few extra pretty fluffy feathers that might kind of shoot out in different parts of their body. And we have our crocodile, our Nile crocodile. Finally managed to get up onto a bank to sun himself. Shame. The crocodiles yesterday, I think both of the crocodiles in this pan here were trying to find an island that they could manage to hoist themselves up onto, but it is getting a bit muddy here with the water levels dropping. So not too easy for these crocodiles to locate themselves onto an island. Oh, what is that? Yeah, another crocodile. Just on the left-hand side of the screen, something moved there. Yep, there he is. Hello. Seems like both of our crocodiles are together today. So these crocodiles are one of the largest reptiles in the world and can grow from 4 to 6 meters in length and weigh anything from about 800 to 1,000 kilograms. That's quite an impressive weight, I must say. Aren't these prehistoric looking creatures? They have survived through many, many different environments over many years. See a third crocodile here. I think there was only 2 crocodiles in this pan. Very interesting. So there's 3 crocodiles in this pan today. 2 in the water, 1 enjoying a nice sun bath. I wonder if this crocodile is also thinking, goodness gracious me, I'd love to get onto this bank, but there's just too much mud. Yeah, so much mud. So obviously with winter, a lot of these crocodiles have kind of slowed down their body metabolism, slows down a bit in winter, and they don't need to feed as much as normal. So you can see this crocodile slipping in on the left there. Let's see if something's going to happen here. Is that crocodile or just vegetation? Oh, he managed to hoist himself up onto this bank. So that jaw of those crocodiles, you do not want to get stuck in there. So their jaw strength is about 40 times stronger than that of a human bite. And 6 times stronger of that of a great white shark. Incredible biting force they have there. And they always use the element of surprise. Rudder themselves with that tail and launch themselves out of the water, grab onto their prey, bring them into the water, and they suffocate their prey underwater before they start ripping apart pieces of their prey or going into what's known as the death roll. Very curious about, see, another crocodile here. Was this only 2? I thought I saw something else lurking in the water. That's what's so mysterious about these crocodiles, is they can disappear within minutes. So Brazen-Hearted, thank you so much for your question about Hlelamba and her cubs. I know that Hlelamba has had some cubs. This is her third litter or third set of cubs, and yeah, I believe her previous cubs did not survive. I'm actually not 100% sure as to what age they made it to, but I will harass Cedric and find out from him. Always, Cedric is one of my biggest mentors, and of course I love giving him a hard time anytime I get a chance. So I will send this question on to Cedric and see what he says, and hopefully get back to you by the end of the show, seeing as Cedric is probably taking a nap, getting ready for the sunset safari. So this crocodile's enjoying the sunshine there. So I did think or suspect that I saw something else in the water. It could have been just this debris. As you can see, there's a lot of algae and debris floating around. Could have been a little monitor lizard or a snake of some sort, but I'm not seeing too clearly. But anyway, this is quite a lovely view that we have of this crocodile lying here, sunning himself. So these crocodiles, those massive teeth of theirs, so a good way to tell between a crocodile and an alligator. Obviously, crocodiles have their teeth outside of their mouths, whereas alligators' teeth are fixed within their mouth. And these teeth, let's check out these crocodiles' teeth here. Those big teeth of theirs, they have 66 teeth that are replaced generally every 2 to 3 years. So a crocodile living 40 to 60 years old can generally go through anything from about 2,000 to 3,000 teeth in their lifespan. So I guess they can afford to not have good dental hygiene. Because if they break a tooth or a tooth falls out, it will generally be replaced within 2 to 3 years. Really nice angle of this crocodile. You can see those scoots on their back there. And these scoots also act as little solar panels, helping them to absorb the heat through their skin. So Kimberly Inlow, welcome to the show. I hope you are enjoying watching live at the waterhole with us. and maybe you'll join us for the sunset safari. We are enjoying watching these two crocodiles sunning themselves, seeing as they are ectothermic. They are not like us humans that are warm-blooded. They can just put on a jacket and warm up our body temperatures. These crocodiles do need to regulate their body heat by absorbing the sunshine. So let's have a scan, see if we can find any more bird life in the area. So we've got our grey heron here. He's pretty impressive, I must say. Might be hunting. Look at that eye. He's in focus mode. Looking for a fish, trying to hunt. I've seen grey herons also eating little baby crocodiles before as well. The baby crocodile can be fed on by many creatures, from fish eagles to herons, monitor lizards, bigger crocodiles. Oh, another crocodile there. Another crocodile. Oh, got a blacksmith plover. We've already got him on our list. We're talking about warm and cold-blooded, so us humans are obviously warm-blooded. And these crocodiles, that's why they need to spend time in the sunshine, because they are cold-blooded reptiles. So while they are sunning themselves like this, crocodiles will occasionally also open their mouths. So if you ever see a crocodile with an open mouth smiling away, this is also another means of cooling themselves down. And this behavior is known as gaping. Oh, what do we have there? Is this a sandgrouse, or is it a little francolin, or is it a go-away bird? Oh, looks like a spurfowl of some sort. Could be a little red-necked spurfowl. Yes, a new one to add to our list. Coming for a drink. We got to hear the spurfowls vocalizing yesterday, which was quite cool. And as you can see on the right-hand side of the spurfowl is a scattered elephant dung, which could have actually been scattered by the spurfowl as he digs through the elephant's dung looking for any seeds or grubs or insects. So in nature, something that is discarded by one creature is always or often eaten by another. So I've even seen fish feeding on elephant dung. I've even seen a palm nut vulture feeding on grubs in an elephant dung. Guinea fowl, francolin, again, will often scratch around in the dung of an elephant looking for food. Butterflies and all kinds of insects and wasps will also come to elephant dungs when they are fresh. What else is lurking about here? I wonder if we're going to see our black crakes. We had a black crake yesterday, juvenile black crake. Maybe some common moorhens. We had a pied wagtail yesterday, which was pretty cool here at Tau Lodge. Our wildebeest have come back. Looks like a nice big elephant breeding herd. It's coming in for a drink. Yep, Egyptian goose. There we go. Speak of the devil. We were just chatting about Egyptian geese earlier. Looks like this Egyptian geese is possibly filter feeding, looking for some food. So these Egyptian geese are quite closely related to the shelled ducks, which there should be at least one shelled duck at this pan, and they are native to Africa, mainly in the eastern and southern parts of Africa. Unfortunately, it has been introduced quite widely across parts of Europe and the USA, which is a bit of a problem because they are known to become invasive species. Are usually always found in pairs or in family groups. Oh, we've got a little three-banded plover here, folks. Must say, I do love these three-banded plovers. They are quite cute. Bright eye, three bands, look like he's wearing a little crown. He'll be roaming around on the water's edge, often overlooked, while looking for little insects, little mud skippers to feed on. Isn't this little three-banded plover adorable? What else do we have here? Ooh, got a little blackbird. That could be our little black crake from yesterday. I must say, I do love the sounds that the black crakes make. See, while we look for him, maybe I can find his call. Oh, no, it is a moorhen, folks. So we were having a look yesterday, the difference between the lesser moorhen and common moorhen, because both of these moorhens do occur in southern Africa, but our common moorhen has a bill with more red on the bottom and top of the bill, whereas our lesser moorhen only has a red kind of stripe on the top. So when he comes out, let's see, we can differentiate which moorhen it is. Got some insects also feeding on this reeded vegetation down by the water. So I kind of guessed that this moorhen was a common moorhen. Yesterday I saw a lot more red on the bill. But it would always be good to confirm and double check, especially if you're doing any bird lists. A lot of these bird lists are very important while bird lassoing to make sure you get all the information correct. If you're not 100% sure, always call a friend. So Catherine, thank you for sending through your info on the ducks and geese in Germany. I'm sure you must have some really beautiful geese in Germany. I've seen some pictures of some very interesting looking geese that you have there. Good birding in Germany. This moorhen is not playing ball with us today. He doesn't want to be seen. Oh, there he is. Okay, so let's have a look at the bill, folks. Let's have a look. Got my bird book here open, and this moorhen definitely has a lot more red on his bill. It almost looks like a little candy of some sort, a red candy with a yellow tip to the end, whereas the cousin, the lesser moorhen, has mostly a yellow bill with a slight touch of red on the top. So common moorhen confirms there. Thank you very much. He'll be scrummaging around in the mud and vegetation, also looking for food. It's quite a distinctive dark water bird and kind of resembles the cross between almost like a duck and a chicken. It's like a water chicken. What else do we still have here? Is this our black crake? Yes, looks like we have a black crake here. Could be the juvenile from yesterday, could be an adult. Oh, no, this is definitely an adult. So yesterday we saw juvenile black crake that hadn't quite had its bill turning yellow yet. Black crake we saw yesterday's bill was still semi-brown. Black crakes to me are like little water ninjas. Got these bright, shocking coloured legs, bright red legs. This red eye with a black pupil and this little yellow bill. They're like little water ninjas. So I'm going to play for you folks the call of this black crake. I hope that you'll be able to hear it. I hope you managed to hear that. Yeah, it's the black crake. So you often don't hear them vocalizing. I mean, you don't see them vocalizing, but often if you're in a park or an area with a lot of water and reeds, you'll just hear the noise and you won't actually see the bird. What other birds do we have lurking about? Looks like a little bit of a mud hole here. Could have been something coming to dig for some food or some insects or something. Lots of nice green vegetation here down by the water, as we can see. Shame Tau Lodge is looking very dry at the moment. The only signs of anything green is down here by the watering hole. Yeah, we can obviously see a lot of disturbance and signs here. Could have been a place where a crocodile was lying. Warthogs could have been coming here for a mud bath. A lot of these little pools will also harbor a lot of larvae, a lot of insects, maybe dragonflies, our mosquito larvae. This green vegetation would attract a lot of animals to come down and feed here, but they would need to be very careful because there will be crocodiles. Just having a scan, see what we can see. We've got a black crake again. All right, so we're just take a scan, looking around. What other birds do we have? So let's just enjoy the natural sounds of this beautiful location as we scan about for some more birds. these pied crows add another bird species to our list. We do also have the Cape crow here in Etosha. You do see them in the open areas, normally scrounging around and feeding. And I think those might be some Egyptian geese down at the water's edge with some springbok. So Glenn Nick, thank you for sending through your birding observations, and it is very, very cool to hear that you have seen a lot of the same birds. So yeah, what will happen in the UK is you'll have a lot of the same bird species, but they might not be obviously exactly in the same family, but slightly different to the birds we have here in Africa. But yeah, as I did mention, a lot of the Egyptian geese were introduced into the UK, so they're not a native species, and a lot of the herons could be migratory birds as well. So very, very cool. Thank you for sharing your sightings with us. We might have these two elephant bulls having a bit of a pool party if we're lucky. And I have seen springbok and even oryx actually swimming in this watering hole. Oldonyo, Kenya, I have been to this location. It was pretty cool. I wasn't 100% sure when I went there if this was the one of the Africam cameras, but as soon as I realized it was the exact same one, I was pretty excited, I must say. Yeah, I had spent a few hours actually sitting at this camera and watching it live. This elephant is enjoying a nice Friday afternoon splash, a splish and a splash. He's taking a bath. It doesn't look like we're going to have much of a pool party here in Okukuyu. Maybe if we're lucky, we might have some activity at Nkoro. All right, awesome sauce. Welcome back to South Africa, folks. This is Nkoro over in the Sabi Sands. And we have a hippo enjoying this pan this afternoon. Talking about hippo, I saw a pretty crazy sighting of a lion chasing some hyenas away from a hippo carcass in Kruger. It was a couple of days ago, and shame the poor hyenas, two of them got killed by the lion, and then the lion proceeded to munch away at the hippo. So what will be happening this time of year, obviously with all the water sources drying up, a lot of hippos will be moving from one water source to the other, and sometimes they just cannot make it. Hippos are very much water dependent because of their skin, so they need to be in the water. They cannot be out of water for a solid day straight without being in the water. If they are out of the water for too long and too much sun baking that skin of theirs, they can get quite dehydrated. And possibly that's what happened to that hippo in Kruger. Could have died, and then, yeah, obviously the predators then take control of or getting rid of this carcass of the hippo. So this hippo bull to me looks quite familiar. I think I have seen him here before. Yeah, she looks like quite an old hippo bull. He's not in the best shape and condition. He's lying on his side, trying to cool himself off. So we got a question from Kimberly Inlow about what is the rarest bird in South Africa. There are a lot of very rare bird species in South Africa, but one of the most rarest when it comes to raptors, I guess you'd have to say, is probably the Taita falcon. So some of these falcons and kestrels are migratory birds, intra-African migrants or palearctic migrants. So some of them migrate within Africa, and some of them migrate overseas. I know the Amur falcon is also one of the migratory birds with the longest migration route in the world. It's just one of them. It's a very small little falcon, and it actually breeds in the Amur River in Russia. This poor bird spends most of its year actually migrating. I think 9 months of the year it spends migrating back and forth, and then of course 3 months of the year it spends nesting and raising their chicks. So imagine that. That is a lot of migrating these birds have to do. So yeah, Taita falcon would be one of my guesses, one of the most rare birds in South Africa. But of course, you do get a lot of other very rare birds like the pitters. I know the African pitters, also very rare birds to see. Trogons, also depending on what areas. Trogons are also another very rare bird to see in South Africa. Oh, this hippo. He's having a lovely Friday afternoon. Look at him, just lying there. So shame. You can see talking about this poor hippo bull that he's definitely seen some better days. See that skin of his is not in the best shape or condition. So hippo's skin, they actually produce what is called hippo sweat or hippoduric acid, which is a substance that is excreted from their skin, and it helps to act as a protective layer for the sunblock or sunscreen. It is also kind of an insect repellent to repel insects, and also acts as a antiseptic for their skin. So they must definitely be pumping this pan. I think you can see on the left-hand side where the inlet is here, or outlet for the water to come in. Because last time I saw this pan, it was definitely not this full. So it seems like they have been doing some work and possibly pumping this pan in order to provide the animals with more water. And what we have here. Oh, little three-banded plover. Unfortunately, we have him on our list for today, but it is always cute to adore these little smaller birds. And as I mentioned earlier, see how easy it is to overlook these beautiful little birds. Little three-banded plover, just trying to get him in focus there. See those three bands, little pinkish red legs. You see them knocking at the edges of water. This is generally a fresh water plover. Normally like to hang out in brackish wetlands or water. So it's very similar to the Forbes plover. Obviously, you can see the difference within the bands themselves, and distribution also differs. Very busy little wetland bird, I must say. They don't stay still for very long, dancing and moving about as they feed. What other birds do we have? I see a lot of elephant activity with all the disturbance close to the water. Nice watering hole for a mud bath, I would say. It's a very busy pan, a lot of activity. I guess as within most areas, there's not much water around, so this water is very valuable to a lot of species, large and small. Oop, looks like we've got a blue waxbill there. Nice, another bird for our list. And I say birding is always a very good hobby to have. As a guide, it is a very important guiding tool for a safari, because when there's nothing else around, or when the big mammals that we all chase are not doing too much, then you can always find some birds close by to keep your clients entertained. But unfortunately, once the birding bug bites, it is definitely catches you off guard, and next thing you're buying yourself binoculars that cost a fortune, and bird books and lassoing and e-birding all over the world. Are those blue waxbills calling? Very cute little low whistle sound. Looks like, what is this tree? Looks like it could be possibly a marula tree. Is this a marula? What is it? No leaves. Be a very good leopard tree, that's for sure. A nice tree for some leopards to climb up into and hang out for maybe an afternoon. Jackalberries are also a very popular tree for leopards. Always very shady, nice and cool. And our hippo friend is still lying in this pan, enjoying his Friday afternoon. The life of a hippo. Oh, looks like we've got it could be a midden here, or maybe this is an area that elephants have spent a lot of time entering, opening up. A lot of tracks, a lot of elephant dung. Do need to watch out though, because white rhino middens can quite often be mistaken for either hippo dung or also an elephant dung. They don't seem to scatter their dung about as much as black rhino. There was a fish eagle that used to hang out here. I think we did see him on a hunt before, which was pretty cool. This road looks perfect for checking out some tracks. So if I was on a game drive this afternoon, I'll definitely hop out the vehicle and check for some tracks in this area. Not before looking for any lurking predators around. So fresh tracks there. This mud is perfect soft mud for predators tracks. I love seeing tracks in mud here. And that soft white sand sometimes also is great for tracking, especially early hours of the morning, late hours of the afternoon. Midday is kind of like there's a bit of a dead spot there between about 11 and 3 when the sun is a little bit too high. You don't get much shadows cast on the tracks. You need those shadows in order to help you identify the tracks. And it's not crucial, but sometimes it does help to accentuate the little details within a track, like direction, how many individuals. It doesn't look like much tracks here. Possibly maybe some zebra or some antelope from yesterday afternoon. Could be some kudu. There's a vehicle passed over this road as well quite recently. I wonder where our fish eagle has gone. We watched our fish eagle a few weeks ago eating a tilapia that he had just caught. Looks like we have some nests over there. Look at these nests. Could be, looks like possibly buffalo weaver nests. Buffalo weavers do have quite messy, untidy nests. Strange, I don't hear any buffalo weavers. These would be old nests. It's interesting how a lot of species will recycle and reuse birds' nests. It's a bit of a windy day over in the Sabi Sands. Look at the wind. Our hippo hasn't moved a muscle. I must say, this hippo is pretty lucky to have this pan here. Because last time I saw him in this pan, I did think, oh, not much water there. Hello, Mr. Hippo. So obviously there's two hippo species in Africa. You do get the common hippo, hippopotamus, or there's also the pygmy hippo, which I haven't unfortunately had the privilege of seeing yet. You can find it in some places in West Africa, not Northwest Africa. So Ivory Coast, I know, is a good place to possibly try and find the pygmy hippo. To me, I don't see much difference between the two species. Obviously, the pygmy hippo is much smaller than our common hippo. So pygmy hippos weighing between about 180 to 270 kilograms, as opposed to our common hippo that can weigh almost 2,000 kilograms. So there's quite a big size difference there between the two hippos. But to me, this all look the same. I know the hippos I was working with in West Africa, definitely not as common as the hippos in Southern Africa. A lot of people said, oh, they might be a different color or have a bit more pink on their skin because they spend more time in the forest. To me, they all looked pretty much exactly the same, but definitely hippos are not as common in some countries in West Africa as they are in Southern Africa. Nice big hippo bull, just enjoying himself in his peaceful pan this afternoon. Looks like a lovely, peaceful place to rest. So I know that in the Congo there was a huge die-out of hippos a few years ago. It could have been in 2021. I'm not sure what the diet was. I can't remember if it was. I'm trying to have a look, see if it was like tuberculosis or if it was rinderpest or something. But I know that yeah, there was a huge die-out of all these hippos in 2021 in West Africa, mostly in DRC, that was linked to them feeding, obviously in the drought years where they're just like, yeah, not enough grass for all these hippos to feed on. They ended up feeding on a lot of sand and soil, which, of course, some of these diseases can be harbored in the ground for many, many years. Even some hippos were seen feeding on other hippo carcasses, which was a big cause of the spread of this disease, as well as a lot of sand being taken in with a lot of this disease, and a lot of these hippos did die. So I know they had to do a very big cleanup in the Democratic Republic of Congo to remove all these dead hippo bodies, which unfortunately the only way to safely remove of these bodies without the disease still staying in the ground is they would need to be burnt, because a lot of these diseases can still stay within the bodies and kind of be then transported into the soil and ingested by other animals that then can be infected. I think that was in 2001 in the Congo Democratic Republic of Congo that they had a very large die-out of a lot of hippos. Thank goodness it was controlled, so I think now the population has recovered since then. It just shows us how important, again, we were talking about insects earlier, and how a lot of insects and parasites are very important in the ecosystem, very important decomposers, and they can help to get rid of a lot of diseases within the environment and act as a pest control, anti-parasitic. And a lot of carcasses, big animals, elephant carcasses, you'll see there's a lot of tiny little grubs, beetles, and parasites that also help to get rid of the remaining flesh and tissue. Right, so we're struggling with our feet here. Why don't we head across to Tembe, the elephant park, and see what's happening there? Oh, welcome back to Tembe, everyone. There's a beautiful young male nyala looking very frisky and excited. He's roaming around, looking very spontaneous in his happenings for his day. He's full of energy. We had some elephants starting the show here in Tembe, some nice big bulls that were hanging out in the shade of the trees. Really awesome to see so many elephants around. Obviously, coming to feed on the minerals and have a bit of a drink, just like this young male nyala. Nyala are mostly browsers, so yeah, they'll feed on a lot of browse and vegetation, as well as some pods and seeds from acacias. Anyway, folks, just want to say thank you so much for joining me here live at the waterhole today. We have had a lovely day at this waterhole, and yeah, it has been pretty amazing sightings. And yeah, I hope you join us for our sunset safari here on the Wild Earth show. From me, Kerry, and the rest of the Wild Earth team, I just want to say a big thank you for joining us today. Have a lovely Friday, a lovely week, and I will see you next week live at the Waterhole on Monday. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a lovely weekend.
Well, a very good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for joining us once again for our highlight show. Yeah, coming directly from Ajuma Private Game Reserve in the northern Sabi Sands. And my name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me we've got Bertus. So the next 30 minutes we're going to talk about what we've been seeing over the last 24 hours, and it has been action-packed, so much to see. And from yesterday's sunset safari to this morning's sunrise safari, this is on safari.